So this is the third video, right? Yeah, for sure. So, damn, hold on. That shit is loud. Okay, I'm done for the day. I'm parked for the day. And I just showered. I'm chilling. Feel good. About to relax. You know what I'm saying? This video, I really don't know exactly what I want to do, but I'm thinking I'm going to talk about like my experience flying for the first time, going to Oklahoma, or whatever, and then kind of like maybe a little bit of the job process, like starting in this field. Okay, it was a little tough. It's very if you don't know where to go or how to go about it, then you will get lost. I guarantee it, because I was lost for a minute because I didn't know what I was doing, right? So first and foremost, trying to become a trucker, you literally, like, everybody wants experience, but when you first get your CDL, it's like, well, obviously I don't have that, right? And a lot of good company, or I wouldn't say good companies, but if you're like looking for like pay or something appeals to you, usually those people want experience. Because if you want a certain amount of, if you do cents per miles or a certain hourly or a certain pay per load, then you will need experience to just get more. That's just how it goes, right? With almost any field of work, you need the experience behind it. So, you know, coming into this, I didn't know, I didn't think about anything except for who was supposed to sponsor me, right? So I didn't think about the job process or, you know, looking for other places to work at, because they were supposed to employ me. So, you know, I was a little late to the game. So fresh out of CDL school. So what happens is, at my school, they ended up setting me up with this thing called Truckers Network. And then, you know, and it was I think it was something else, but Truckers Network is what they usually use. You know, so when I didn't get the sponsorship or didn't get hired by Universal, after that, it was like, okay, bet, now I gotta, you know, get a job, obviously. So what ended up happening was a small insert. I ended up trying to be a car hauler. That did not work out for me at all. Unfortunately, I didn't even make it through the training or whatever. It just wasn't for me. I messed that up. Definitely messed that up. But shout out to Frank though. So Frank is this guy. He was like my trainer or whatever, and he was the dude. He put me onto a lot of different things that led me in the right direction to getting a little bit further along with you know, my career. And yeah, shout out to Frank. He's a good guy. So that didn't work. So I ended up he told me about a different websites and stuff like that. So Driver's Pulse, aka 10th Street, or aka Driver's Pulse, whichever one it is, that was one of the places. And then he told me like a list of places like Schneider, JB Hunt, like all those different companies that like hire people with no experience, Swift, you know, stuff like that. So that's funny. So it's going to be a little difficult to find a place that not only suits you, but a place that you might have to be like, well, I have to just deal with this so I can get experience, right? So getting to Oklahoma, so I didn't ever go on a flight. I ended up applying for to be a flatbedder. Okay, the position started out of Oklahoma. If you know, you know. So I don't don't even think it didn't even take like 2 weeks. So I ended up applying, got accepted, and then I went out to Oklahoma. And Oklahoma was honestly a very fun experience, but I felt like, well, it's not like, I felt that I wasted my time there, which I technically did, but really I didn't. So in flatbedding, before I go any further, I don't really know all about flatbedding, but what I do know is those flatbeds, they drive a little bit different. Like a 53-foot flatbed drive a little bit different than a dry van or a reefer van. Or all right, the video cut off. So the 53-foot flatbeds, they do drive a little different than dry vans, reefer vans, stuff like that. So anyways, when Oklahoma became a thing for me, like, I left and, you know, I went to Oklahoma. So from Michigan to Oklahoma, my first time ever being on a flight. I did 2 different flights to get there. It was a new experience for me, right? Because again, like, I haven't ever been on a flight. So getting on the flight, I wasn't nervous or anything like that, but I was like, oh snap, like, I'm about to get on the flight, you know? And so what ended up happening was I get on the flight and I get to Oklahoma. My ears was messed up, whatever. But so when I went for this position, it was kind of like I went through like a training school for that company. It was very weird. Bruh, the video turned off again, whatever. Okay. So I went through like a training school for this position. So mind you, it's summertime. It's real hot in Oklahoma around the summertime. It's my first time being in Oklahoma. I ain't ever been there before, you know what I'm saying? Great experience to have. So when I get there, you know, I'm posted up in the hotel or whatever. It's like 60 people that just got hired around the same time I did, and we're all going through like the training of this job together. So it was really like, it was like I said, it was kind of like a school. Very weird because, you know, I wasn't expecting it to be the way it was, but it was fun. So anyways, so I went, it's for flatbed. And so when I went there, every day, so like, I think it's Monday, I think it was like Monday through Saturday or something. Monday through Saturday, okay, you're waking up at like 5 a.m., okay, and like by 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., we're either going to the yard to go and train. So we did like the first week, I think it was like low securement, and then the second week it was a level above, like it was advanced low securement or something or whatever. So it was like I went through a series of, and then we had class time for a week or something, where, you know, they tell you all about the position and they teach you different things and stuff like that. And, you know, we did manual logs, which I learned how to do a log there. I didn't do that in school. So I learned that, and it was very different for me because, first of all, I'm around a bunch of new people that I don't know. Got on the flight for the first time, Oklahoma first time. But it was pretty cool because what I learned there is, so they made us do like a driver test or whatever. So like the driving test was, you know, they take you a little ways around from where we were at or whatever in the truck. And I've been blessed to only deal with automatic so far, except for the car hauling position. It was going to be a manual. But anyways, so, you know, the driving a car is similar to an automatic, you know, semi or whatever. So it was cool. So it's kind of the same thing, but it's really not, obviously, because you're handling something totally different and you know, much larger. So I went on the driver test, like I passed that, cool. And the load securement part, it was cool, but it was hot. It was very hot. So I'm sweating every day, all day. And I sweat profusely like that. It wasn't the best, but I made it through all the training and everything like that. And then, what ended up happening was they set you up with a trainer. So, they sent us to a totally different hotel. And so it was a very long process. I'm not gonna lie. I think I was going for I was in Oklahoma for about a month or two, and then like a month and maybe a week, and then I ended up leaving to go on the road with a trainer. But I'll get to that in a second. So they put us in a different hotel and stuff like that, and then every day we're still getting up and we're making it over to the class to just, we were talking to multiple people and they were just teaching us about the different amenities that they had at their company and stuff like that. So honestly, it's a very great training program, and they hire people that's new and they train them and stuff like that. So that was kind of cool. So after all of that, you go through the training and stuff like that, you get placed with a trainer. So what ended up happening with me was I get placed with a trainer, and I think the first 2 days that I was supposed to be with my trainer, we didn't even leave out, right? So, we were just waiting, because I guess I did, at the time, I didn't know how things work. Like, you can, if you have a cushion of time, maybe you could spend it not driving, and you can make the drive up later, or you can do the drive and then, you have time later to yourself. Like, it just really depends on how it goes. So me and the trainer, as the time progressed, I wasn't with bro it wasn't more than 7 days for sure. It was not even a week, okay? And we were getting into it because, he was a certain way and I was a certain way, but there was no common ground between us at all. All right, I ain't gonna put bro on Front Street because that's messed up, but if you know, not a lot of people, but a lot of people know, especially if you get into this field, if you don't have a decent trainer or a good trainer, it just might not work out. Like, real spill. And I learned that, and that was my first like getting through training and then getting with the trainer, like being on a trainer's truck. So mind you, like, you're in his space or her space, you're in that person's space, and they're teaching you how they do things. So I didn't know that. It wasn't explained to me that you're pretty much like this person's mini-me, and they're about to mold you the way that they want to, you know what I'm saying? And then maybe you go with a different trainer or whatever. So let me make this quick. The only thing about this trainer was, bro left me stranded in Seymour, Indiana. I won't ever forget it. And it made it up here, it did something to me that made me feel like, okay, you don't ever want to be put in this type of situation again, and to have to maneuver from, and you gotta think, going all the way back, first time getting on the flight, first time in Oklahoma, around a lot of new people, and then being stranded by a complete stranger just because you are going to be who you are, and if that person doesn't like you, essentially, it doesn't matter, because whatever they say goes, and whatever they want to do, they can do it. Just to wrap up, the trainer is in full control of your training when you go with that trainer and you're the trainee. So from Seymour, Indiana, because I was driving at that point, right? I had to drive a certain amount of miles. I had to understand my clock. I was learning how to be a driver for this company. So from Seymour, Indiana, I got stranded at a TA out there, all right? And I had to, they didn't have like Uber and shit. So I had to call a taxi styled service, which wasn't a taxi, it was like a private, company, transportation company. Called them. I think I paid like $140 to go to the airport. That was is it the Muhammad Ali airport? don't remember what the airport was called at this moment, which is kind of weird, but kind of not. So I went to the airport out there, and I came back. I went back to Michigan. So the moral of this story is when you're first starting out looking for different places to work in this field in the beginning, because I feel like in the beginning will be the hardest. After you get experience, it's gonna be a piece of cake because everybody wants you. Oh, you already know what you're doing. Yeah, come on, right? Download Driver's Pulse. You know, get your Indeed and your Snag a Job, like things like that. But make sure you get something that you feel will suit you for the time being. That's all I can say, right? But yeah, Oklahoma was a different experience for me. It was cool though. Shout out to the guys that I met out there. I met a lot of cool people. I stay in contact with a few still here and there, so shout out to them, man. It's wild. Also, side note, out of the like 50, 60 people that was in the, let's say, the class that I came on board with, I don't even think, it might be 20 of them, if that, right? Like, it's so many people that just don't work there, or didn't make it through training like me, or whatever the case was. So yeah, make sure you get something tailored for you as best as you can, trying to start in this field. But all right, I'm done. I've been talking a lot. Done. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to chill for the rest of the day. So y'all have a good day. Thank you.